Shalom, shalom. This is Kapaya, a.k.a. Pops, out of GMS Chicago, with another sit-down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Mekakwadash, to the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, the elder bishops out of Connecticut, the apostles down in Texas. I send double honors because they do rule well. For the brethren around the world, pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, giving you the good, the bad, and ugly of the scriptures, correctly break it down, the prophecies, and the interaction with people on the planet, declaring warning, send salutations for the hopeful elect. I hope this is edifying for the aquath, the few, and the true. This listen sincere to charity, keep doing so, but for the scorner, scoffer, reprobate, 2/3 Israelites, and 17 other nations who are in the midst of Jacob's trouble. You're in the midst of it, and it's going to get worse. Anyway, as you can see this is like if you look at this is like a window. Three windows, as a matter of fact. Okay? You've got a new dawn, which is a brother that basically decided he wanted to step away and do his own thing. Okay? Which the scripture says that if they were of us, they would remain with us, basically paraphrasing a scripture, which means not all of Israel is Israel. Okay? He doesn't realize that. Okay? You got the brother Bar Ra, which is a exceptionally solid brother. Okay? That's been around. And we done watched people, him and I together, to watch people step away, and this same reprobate novice mentality of when you step away, you go in on the people that you learned from, and this type of thing shows itself. So he's doing that. Ex-member turned armchair quarterback. So be careful not to murmur against the good men of the house, is what New Dawn, which is his, he took his old channel, renamed it, okay, and going that way. Bar Ra is going on top of that, and I'm looking at this because before I even saw that Bar Ra was even doing this, I only needed one scripture or whatnot. I could put several on it, but I'm hearing people talk, I'm hearing things being said, and it's like, dude, seriously? And Bar Ra said it in his video, and I'm saying it in mine. I personally didn't have anything against him in that level. I've learned some things in the background, of this now. Like I said, when he first showed up, I first caught wind of this brother some years ago when I stopped, and he was staying with Shakal then out in Melrose Park, and I stopped over there and this, that, and the other. Okay? I stopped over there, wound up doing a sit down with them that day and the whole deal. That was the first time I caught wind of this brother Ramakia, or ex-brother now, or whatever. Okay? See, these, and a lot of this is all about over-righteousness, pride, and this type of thing. And I've said it's a slippery slope. I've been saying it since 2015 or so, when we had a mass. Actually, before that, it's probably about a little bit before that, when Element, who was Amashaba, what was Element? Whoever Yashawamba is in charge of it now. Amashaba Allah, whatever his name was, out of there, we call him Element now. Was in head of the Dallas camp, and this, that, and other. So it's always been a pride thing. It's been the underlying root that has made a lot of motherfuckers get discontented or whatever the case might be. And you get well-versed brothers that can wield scriptures, but then, like I said, they don't even realize that the scriptures that they use and cut themselves. So, as you can look at Bob Ross video, he done listened to that guy's video up to a certain point. I done caught Bob Ross video at about the 5 minute 53-second mark of it. And I'm just going to put a scripture here, okay? Because of the fact, like I said, you can go in and listen to be careful not to murmur against a good man house. You can listen to that all you want. You can listen to Bob Ross thing or whatnot. Like I said, I only had to get to the 5 minute and 53 of Bob Ross to know what the scenario was and whatnot, what he was touching bases on. And like I said, I'm going to put one scripture on this. But it's funny. It's a funny scenario when brothers don't realize that when they shaking fingers at one brother, and I say this all the time, when you shaking a finger, call yourself trying to point out a brother's fault. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put two scriptures here. Let me go and get this one first. Okay, I'm at Colossians 4:6. I'm going to the interlinear right now and open this up. Okay, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Okay, so first of all, you got to be able to give an answer, and this, that, and the other. And like I said, you can wield this thing, these scriptures, in a way that you understand it, and then you can turn around and try to think that you understand it and wield these scriptures in a novice form and be cutting yourself. And that's what Bob Ra was going into. He's describing himself with this. Okay, all the things that he's murmuring about, because brothers are coming out and saying what they're saying about him and whatnot. So he wants to think that, all the things that he used to hear when he was inside of GMS or whatever the case might be, this, that, and the other. But he's not understanding what he's doing. Like I said, first of all, the scriptures are always got a balance, okay? For whatever point you're trying to make, there's always scriptures to prove your point. There's always scriptures that be able to go against your point. And the whole purpose of is the scripture says, with all thy getting, get an understanding, okay? He's trying to wield these scriptures, not understanding that his understanding isn't there. Okay? So now let's go here. So I'm going to do this. It says, let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Okay? Let your always with grace, with salt seasoned, that ye may know how you ought to answer every man. Okay, so now let's go to this seasoned. Okay, G741. Okay, prepare, arrange with respect to food, to make seasoned savory. Let's go down a little further. Strong's definition from presumed derivative, to prepare, i.e. spice with stimulating kinds of seasons. Let's go a little bit more further down. We're going down here where it says metaphorically. I'm going to see if I can light it up. You look down where it says Luke 14:34, metaphorically, full of wisdom and grace, hence pleasant and pleasant and wholesome. Okay? Pleasant and wholesome. Or the wholesome being the correct understanding. Okay? You can have a incorrect, which wouldn't be wholesome, and then you can have a correct, which is wholesome. It's the actual knowledge of what the scripture is actually saying, okay? You got all these other things. Okay. So yeah, so the point being is up here. Pleasant, okay, full of wisdom and grace, and hence full of wisdom and grace. So now he wants to go off, go away, walk away, want to do his own thing. But one of the first things he do, which is, like I said, which is the reprobates dead. You know, when Nazariah them, that seven or so, all walked away together in a group, called themselves tried and refined, basically refried beans or whatever the case might be, and whatnot. They sizzled for about 2 years or so, if they lasted that long, fizzled out, this, that, and the other. And the brother Bara was the same one that was going in on them. When in their comment board, you know, they flocked, that they had kind of built up or had started following them, following their corrupted ass doctrine. Was asking where they was at. They not out there on the street corners doing this. Taziadio, which was his Nazariah's number two, is Chase Davis now out there on the West Coast carrying bags of weed and all kinds of other shit, talking shit, sitting up in the fucking studios and whatnot, smoking on weed, fucked up ass pants, and no telling what the fuck he's got going on right now. So I say all that to say this: novice, not seasoned, not understanding what it is that they're supposed to be doing or going on or saying or whatever the case might be. Put another scripture in the middle of this, and I'm gonna call it a day because I'm not gonna make a long thing on this because, like I said, uh, you know, he's talking about what we done seen and how we say I done seen this. I've been here long. Like I said, I've seen all this before. Okay, so I'm not going to give him much time a day because, like I said, I don't watch this. This is a rerun of I won't even say a sour movie. Just it's a rehash of an old movie with the same subplot and the same bullshit ending. Okay, that's what it is. That's all it is. Okay, so let me put another scripture to this, and I'm gonna call this a day because I'm not gonna give this much time. Okay, so here's the scripture that I wanted to pull up. This is Sirach 11. I'm going to start at about 15. It says, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law and of Yahweh, love and the way of good works are from him. Okay? Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. So now this guy thinks that he's got the new will, okay? Because he's still trying to give double honors to GMS or the apostles and elders. But the question being is, the apostles and elders set up a hierarchy here in the brotherhood as it is, okay? And like Bara was saying, when you was in the midst of it, if you thought you saw that, you had been given enough rank to be able to say what it is that you needed to say. There are situations where things were said, okay, and if a brother was on point, then that was pointed out, and if a brother was off, that was pointed out, okay. So if he would have remained among us, but he went from us, okay. The gift of the Lord, verse 17, the gift of Yahweh remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. What is the gift? The understanding of this. Okay, not being a novice, being seasoned with and having a senses exercised and things of this nature. That's why brothers say what they say about I've been around this amount of time because I've seen this. I've had a chance to lay back and watch and see how this plays itself out on some level, this way or that way or whatever it might be. But now like I said, this guy wants to branch out and do his own thing, so fine. I'm not going to give it a whole lot of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, most as a sit down. Okay, he chose to step away, so he stepped away. That's fine. But like I said, instead of him going out and prophesying this, that, and the other, his sit downs now have become that of pointing fingers at the camp that he was in, instead of just going out and doing the work. And that's an old repetitive move that happens all the time. So with that, I hope that's edifying for you all to see. Like I said, go back and look at Tried and Refined. Pull up their page if you can find it and see and go back to the beginning of what they was doing. Okay, and see how, and for whatever amount long. And like I said, they gave it around for a couple years or whatever, and see what happens. Like I said, brothers fall out. They think they can wield this, but the truth of the matter is this ability to hold on and not be among the brotherhood is a rarity at best. Like I said, you can take a coal that has never been doused with lighter fluid or anything else and throw it among a Weber kettle full of coals that's hot and on fire, and it'll light up and be hot and on fire too. And you can take that same coal that was hot and on fire in the midst of them and take it and put it on its side, and it will eventually snuff itself out. It will initially burn itself out. It says, where two or more is at, Yahweh Shah will be in the midst of that. Okay? But he's a solo act now. So, like I said, the question is we going to be around enough time to watch him snuff himself out or not, is the question. So with that, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash, to the apostles and elders of Jim South New York. Again, I send double honors. Brother around the world, keep pushing this truth and keep holding on and keep wanting to be among the brotherhood, because it says what? If the one shall fall, the other one should be able to pick him up. This brother now has nobody to pick him up. He has nobody to watch his back. He has nobody that when he goes off to tell him he goes off or he's going off or he's out of pocket or nothing. So like I said, into his own mind now, he'll have his itching ears and we'll watch his doctrine do what it's going to do. He's starting to leak now and he don't even see it. So with that, to the hopeful elect and salutations for the rest of the world, for and the 2/3 of Bob Ball.